Most people think recessions happen virtually overnight, but they don't. The warning signs build for months, sometimes years, and by the time the headlines confirm it, the smartest investors are already prepared. The truth is, the difference between people who panic during a recession and people who come out stronger usually comes down to one thing: preparation. So today, let's talk about going to walk through a simple 30-day recession plan, step by step, that can help you stabilize your finances, protect your income, and position yourself for opportunities when the economy starts to slow down. Because the people who prepare before the downturn are usually the ones who benefit the most from that downturn. So let's start with something most people ignore until it's too late: cash. The first step in a recession-ready plan is building what I call financial breathing room. During economic slowdowns, the biggest risk most people face isn't the stock market falling, it's losing income. Companies cut costs, hiring slows, layoffs begin. And when that happens, people without cash reserves are forced to make desperate financial decisions. That's why the first 7 days of this plan focus on liquidity. Start by calculating exactly how much money you spend each month on essentials, not entertainment, not subscriptions, just the basics: housing, food, utilities, transportation. This number becomes your survival budget. Your goal is to build at least 3 to 6 months of that number in cash reserves. If you already have an emergency fund, great. If you don't, this is the first priority, because cash gives you options when the economy gets unpredictable. Now, once you've established your baseline spending, the next step is something that can dramatically extend your financial runway during a downturn: reducing unnecessary expenses. And this is where most people discover they have more control than they thought. During the second week of the plan, go through your bank statements from the last 3 months. Look for subscriptions, services, or purchases that don't actually improve your daily life: streaming services, unused memberships, impulse spending. Even small reductions can add up quickly. If you cut $200 in monthly spending, that's $2,400 per year staying in your pocket. And during a recession, cash flow matters more than ever. But here's something many financial guides leave out: preparing for a recession isn't just about cutting back, it's also about strengthening your income. During week 3, focus on increasing income stability. Ask yourself, how secure is your current job? Are you in an industry that historically struggles during downturns, or one that tends to remain stable? Healthcare, infrastructure, energy, and essential services tend to remain more resilient during economic slowdowns. If your industry is cyclical, this is the time to start preparing backup options. That could mean learning new skills, building freelance income, or developing side projects that can generate cash if your primary income slows down. Because one of the biggest advantages you can have during uncertain times is multiple. Hey, real quick, I want to take a quick break and throw this idea out. If you would like to take advantage of the coming crisis in real estate, I put together a package of 4 courses. The Real Estate Crash Course that shows you the cycles of real estate, what to do during a bear market, how to sell the properties, and so much more. The link's down below if you want to take advantage of buying all 4 courses for a crazy price. Now, back to the video. Income streams. Now, the final stage of the 30-day plan focuses on something that separates reactive investors from strategic ones: positioning. Recessions don't just create problems, they also create opportunities. During the 2008 financial crisis, investors who had cash and patience were able to buy assets at massive discounts: real estate, stocks, businesses. Entire industries went through dramatic repricing. The same thing happens in nearly every economic cycle. That's why week 4 of this plan is about preparing to deploy capital when opportunities appear. This doesn't mean trying to predict the exact bottom of the market. Very few people can do that consistently. Instead, it means identifying the types of assets you believe in long term and preparing a strategy for when prices become attractive. Maybe that's real estate, maybe that's dividend-paying companies, maybe it's investing in your own business or skills. The key idea is this: when recessions hit, most people are forced to sell assets because they need cash. The people who prepared ahead of time are the ones who are able to buy, and that's one of the biggest differences between surviving economic downturns and actually benefiting from them. Now let's quickly recap the 30-day recession-ready plan. Week 1, build liquidity and calculate your survival budget. Week 2, reduce unnecessary spending and improve cash flow. Week 3, strengthen income stability and explore backup income streams. Week 4, position yourself to take advantage of opportunities when markets shift. Economic cycles are inevitable. Every expansion is eventually followed by contraction. Every boom eventually slows. But the people who understand this and prepare for it early are usually the ones who navigate these cycles with the least stress, and sometimes with the greatest rewards. Because recessions don't just transfer wealth randomly. They tend to transfer wealth from the unprepared to the prepared. And if you take the time to build a plan before the downturn, you're already ahead of most people. If you found this breakdown helpful and want more content about how economic cycles actually work and how to prepare for them, consider subscribing. And if you want to go deeper, check out the next video on your screen where we break down the early warning signs that often appear before major economic downturns. Understanding those signals can give you months, sometimes years, of advance notice before the headlines catch up. I'll see you in the next one.